Hi, Sparkles, and welcome back to Intuitive Wisdom. This is episode 237, and today's conversation is one that feels both deeply human and incredibly empowering, especially if you've ever questioned your worth in love, or wondered if there's a better way to approach relationships without losing yourself in the process. And what if dating, something that can feel confusing, frustrating, or even discouraging, is actually a skill you can learn and master? Today, I'm joined by the incredible Donna Meador. Donna describes herself as super fabulous and not by accident. Her work is rooted in the belief that joy is a choice, alignment is a practice, and love is always the answer. In this episode, Donna shares her powerful personal story, including the profound loss of her late husband, and how that experience opened her connection to the spirit world in unexpected and meaningful ways. From that space, she began to rebuild not just her life, but her understanding of love, relationships, and what it truly means to feel worthy. Now, as a dating coach and the creator of what she calls her doctorate in dating, Donna helps women step into a new relationship paradigm, one where they understand their value, discern what a healthy relationship actually looks like, and stop settling for less than they deserve. We talk about why dating is not personal, and yes, that's the title of her book, why so many women feel like they have to do it all alone, and how alignment, real embodied alignment, is something we can actually learn and practice. Because that's the piece most people miss. It's not just about knowing what you want, it's about being willing to practice showing up for it. This conversation is an invitation to get honest with yourself. What are you saying to yourself about love? What do you truly want? And most importantly, what do you believe you're worthy of? There is no shame in this process, only space to grow, to learn, and to choose again. If you've been navigating dating, healing from loss, or simply wanting to feel more aligned in your relationships, this episode is going to meet you right where you are. Here we go. Welcome to Intuitive Wisdom, a space where insight meets energy and intuition leads the way. I'm K. Margaret Solorio, author, Angel Reiki Master, biotech graduate, and a guide for those seeking alignment in their home and life. Whether you're navigating change, clearing emotional clutter, or simply craving clarity, Intuitive Wisdom invites you to slow down, tune in, and rise into your authentic self. New episodes weekly. Come home to your own knowing. All right, Sparkles, quick announcements before we get to today's episode. First, I've created a free 3-day experience to help you gently reset your space and your energy. It's called the Spring Energy Refresh. This isn't about perfection or deep cleaning your entire house. It's about clearing stagnant energy, inviting lightness back in, and reconnecting your space to the natural rhythm of spring. Inside, you'll get simple guided checklists, reflection prompts, and grounding rituals. Just 3 days, and by the end, your home will feel lighter, and so will you. You can download it for free at deliciousease.com/spring. And if you're ready for deeper support, I offer a home frequency reset. This is where I help clear the energy in your home so it feels calm, supportive, and aligned again. Our homes hold onto that emotional residue of everything we experience, including stress, transitions, and even old patterns. And over time, that can feel heavy. This work gently clears that buildup so your home can truly support you. All sessions are remote, so they're very easy to schedule. You can learn more and book a session at deliciousease.com/services. Also, if you're looking for more, my book, Make Ease Your Vibe, is available now on Amazon in both paperback and Kindle versions. It's filled with practical tools to shift your mindset, your energy, and your time in a way that feels intuitive and supportive. And when you purchase your copy, you'll also get access to exclusive bonuses. That content is, if you go to the website, again, deliciousease.com, click on book at the top, enter your information, and you'll get access to the bonus content. And finally, I'm excited to share that Intuitive Wisdom now has listener support open. If this podcast has supported you in any way, you can give back with a monthly donation starting at just $3 a month. And as a thank you, you'll receive a shout out on our monthly Insights episode, a custom blessing spoken in your name, and a healing energy intentionally sent your way. It's a beautiful exchange of energy, and it truly helps keep these conversations flowing. You can become a supporter through the link in the show notes. Thank you for being here, for your presence, and for the energy you bring to the space. Now let's get to the episode. Donna, welcome again. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I'm super fabulous. Like I said to everybody who asked me that, it should be illegal. And part of that, K Margaret, is because I focus on joy. So it's not by accident.
Yeah, amen.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that it's a choice, an active one.
It's a choice, yes.
Yeah. Well, you may know on this podcast, we explore what it means to live in alignment with your energy and how trusting your intuitive wisdom can transform your inner and your outer world. And so I was curious if you could share a time when your intuition nudged you to do something unexpected.
There have been so many times. And what's beautiful about this is it's only recently that I discovered that I was being nudged. Because we think it's in our own head. We think things happen and we go, well, gee, why? Okay, I think this is a good idea. And we start to do things. And it's only recently that I've realized how wonderfully supported I've been from the spirit world. And one of the things that is probably the most aligned with this conversation and how I was nudged was when my late husband passed away. Up until that point, I had always been into personal development. Spent a lot of money, time, and energy on books and memberships and so forth, coaches, and it's all been fabulously worth it. When he passed away, I started to reach for the spirit world. I wanted to know where he was, and I wanted to feel. Well, I knew where he was in my own mind, but I wanted him to connect with me. I wanted to feel him, and so I started to go in that direction. So he kind of catapulted me. No, not kind of. He catapulted me forward into an area of speaking out loud, specifically about dating. And I had never really gotten out there about talking about dating, but at the time I was doing Facebook Live. That was like a big thing back in 2016. It was all new. It was exciting, And so I started talking about dating, and then he got sick and I kept doing these 5-minute snippets. And when he passed away, I didn't realize I had been gathering a following. And people from around the world cried for me, but it was not my nature to curl up and die. It took grieving time for sure. But when I rose up, I started to realize people needed help. And it turned into this unofficial coaching of helping women understand that they're worthy of more when it comes to relationships. All right, so that was a very interesting thing.
Yeah, you blended the two, or evolved it, I suppose.
Yes. And what was more fascinating was, and again, another one of these pivotal moments, was I was nudged to write a book. Now, I started writing my dating book in 2004. Before I met my late husband, because it was about my dating journey, which was a little bit obnoxious. I mean, you don't know what you're doing out there. And it's like, you think you're on the same page with somebody, you think you're speaking English, you think they're hearing what you're saying and vice versa. And it turned out all too often that when somebody said they would call me later, I did not know that meant after football season. Like, I thought that meant, So I started to do the research. I started to read all the books. I started to do my homework. And I realized that it's not as innate as we get older. We're clouded by a lot of noise on the outside of us, our experiences. So our filters have gotten clouded, right? When you're in high school and college, you get married because you fall in love and you want to have a family typically and buy the house and have the fence, right? Like and the 6 kids. Right? And then you go through it, some people, widowed or divorced or maybe never been married because career was focus. And all of a sudden you don't know the rules to the game anymore. Like you're out of your comfort zone for sure, and you don't understand what's happening. And then you combine the internet into this, and now you have different cultures. You're no longer just meeting somebody in your backyard or in your same town like it was when my grandmother, got married in whatever year, early 1900s. right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is a big shift. You mentioned about knowing what we deserve or feeling our worth. And I was curious, reading through some of your content, I thought about myself. I'm married, and I find that as I do the personal development growth, a lot of my like paradigm shifts, they kind of work themselves out through my relationship with my husband. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how they integrate or solidify. And I think it's really brave of you to take on these dynamics, because
Thank you.
these intimate relationships really bring together everything, what you want and who you are and what you believe. So do you think that, well, I don't even know, I've like three questions in one, but do you think all that stems from our own view of self-worth?
100%. We're born, and then we start our journey in this human body of ours, and we start to trip over things, and we figure out things, and we learn based mostly from what our parents are teaching us and our environment. And a lot of the interpretation is misconstrued, or we perceive it differently, right? That's what we do. We have a left side and a right side of our brains, and we're sort of taught to work with our brains. We're sort of not focusing on our hearts. We're certainly not focusing on our chakras or our dantians or the hara. Like, there's other features of our body, our nervous system. There's so many facets to the human body. It's mind-boggling. And now, okay, I don't want to go too off the trail here. What I have found was, and what woke me up concerning being a dating coach, was I saw so many women. Now, I was brought up in the 70s, and we were taught to do it all, and you don't need a man. And that's kind of like what was going on. The Fabergé commercial, I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan. I mean, we were just sort of brought into this women's lib thing, and ran with it. But as time went on, I began to see, especially I'm talking now like fast forward 40 years, 30 years, that women were focusing on their businesses, which is wonderful, and focusing on the importance of their jobs and going up the ladder, right, the corporate ladder. But people weren't talking about their relationships. And it's the foundation. When you hang up your hat, when you take off your pumps and you turn around, what is it all for? Mm-hmm. Where's it's about the foundation, and nobody's taught. We're not taught in high school how to date, how to discern a good relationship, how to focus on a healthy one. And we sort of stumble along, and a lot of women have given up. I've heard them say, I striked out twice, I'm done. And my heart hurts for them, because when you are in a healthy relationship, you can climb Mount Everest. And I'm not saying you can't do it alone, but why do you want to do it alone? That's the question. We can do it all alone. Why do we want to? And when women say, I don't want to give up my independence, I say, I agree with you. I'm actually more independent with Jeff by my side. This is my now husband. My late husband was wonderful as well. And so we have a little menage a trois going on with the three of us, right? Because I still keep Pietro in my life. He's been very much a part of my life, and sometimes I forget that my now husband and my late husband never met. So it's very funny, but it's all about the same. We had a good relationship, and when I was ready to go out and date again, I actually read my own book, because I said, what did I actually do? What did I do to create such a fabulous relationship? Because the book was written on all my dating escapades right up until I met and married my late husband. So now it's a love story. But I went back and I read it. I said, what did I actually do? Like, I had to dig it apart and go, okay. So now I have a course, right? Now I have all the things to help women understand how to discern a good, healthy relationship. Just like you would a good job, right? A great boss, like a right fit, alignment. It all matters.
It does. It does all matter. I'm curious, and hopefully it's okay to ask, how did you earn your doctorate in dating?
No, I love that you asked that question. In fact, I said, she's probably going to ask me this question. I actually created it myself.
Okay.
I created my own, I don't think I can get clear here, but that's okay. I created my own I trademarked it
Okay.
because I kept telling, as I was writing my next book and writing the courses, I kept saying out loud, I studied dating like I was going to college. And my now husband Jeff said, baby, it's your doctorate in dating you got. And I went, oh, I didn't go to college, Kay Margaret, so I didn't know that was a thing. And I'm like, oh, you're right, I got a doctorate in dating. So I trademarked it. I created a certification. It's up on my wall because I did all the work. I read the books. And not only that, I put it into action. Everything I did and everything I tell women to do, I have done and I have put into action. And I think the hardest part is that women think that I can read about how to ride a bicycle, but I don't really have to get on one. And when I hear women say that they're uncomfortable dating, they don't know how to do it, I agree with you. I didn't either. So what made it better? I practiced. I went out. I went out on those tree limbs and fell off a few, and I figured it out. And then I got comfortable. And when you get comfortable and aligned, and this is no different than what you do with your decluttering, there's alignment that has to take place. And when you get there, you're not settling for the unaligned relationship any longer. You're not needy. You're not looking for somebody to complete you. There's none of that. You're in a very comfortable, confident place because you understand that it's a dating scenario that you just have to learn.
Yeah, I love that you take the shame out of it with that. Before we pushed record, we were talking about mediumship and what a cool thing it is that mediumship can be learned. Yeah. When I grew up, I thought it was just something you were born with. You got lucky and got the gift, or you didn't. But it kind of feels that way about a lot of the important things in life, including finding that great and maintaining a healthy relationship. Like like you said, you kind of learn as you go. And if you don't have any goalposts or ways of trying to navigate that on your own, you just feel like a failure. And there's so much shame in that. So to say, hey, no, this is a learned skill, like everything else about being human. And here are some ways.
And it is. And the reason I'm such an advocate for this is because love is the answer.
Oh.
Does it always have to be in a relationship? I'm never going to tell somebody they have to date. That's not my gig. What I'm here to do is help the women who are dating later in life, and that could be anywhere from 35 up, right, to 90, doesn't matter, how to discern and know before the fourth date whether to continue or call it quits. Just because somebody asks you out doesn't mean you have to go. This was something I had to learn. Okay, so thank you for acknowledging there should be no shame in the dating process. And when people are open to understanding, oh, you mean I just have to practice? Yes, yes, like anything else we do.
Yeah, and the communication. I think you hinted at or talked about that in the beginning, that sometimes the signal is just not received. So learning to listen and learning to communicate more in a more aligned fashion so you can get what you want.
Yeah, and it's getting what you want. That's an interesting statement right there, right? Because, how often, Kay Margaret, that we always say, be careful what you ask for, because are you saying what you want versus is that really what you want? So are you communicating that properly, even internally?
Right. Yes, definitely.
Right? So when I hear women say, I don't trust men, what I really hear them saying is, I don't trust myself. Okay? If they say, I haven't had any luck, I'm hearing they're afraid. You see, you know that, right? People, so I'm just here to help them understand that they don't have to do what they did yesterday. we can change. We can be aware. It's just awareness.
Yes, that is huge, isn't it?
Yes. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right. That's how I roll.
That's perfect. And that's exactly aligned with what we talk about here, because it's all about the energy of it. It's somewhat related, but not, but it's come up a few times in the past week. So I'll bring the example up. But I was talking to somebody about, I think they were talking about their friend who maybe had too many clothes or something. It was a lot of clutter. And the person I was talking to was her friend who was trying to help her. And she's like, no, I love all this stuff. And I was explaining how when we hold on to things kind of so desperately, we're actually aligning with the energy of lack, because we're telling the universe, I have no other way to bring it in again. Like, I can't let it go because I can't get it again. We do that with so many things in our life. But it's so ironic because you see this abundance that you're actually aligning with lack. And I feel like that's what you were just saying earlier, where you say, I don't trust them. But really, the energy is, I don't trust my ability to make good decisions, or something like to that extent.
100%. And by the way, movement's super important. And when Pietro passed, I was blessed to have so many friends and cousins and people show up in my house, because I was kind of on the floor. And they started to move things around in a really gentle, loving way. Like, instead of my wedding picture over here, they put it in a less obscure place. And then they took a few others and they clustered them somewhere else. And they started to, I'm getting chills and a lump in my throat about this, because it was so important to help me process grief. And it's super important as humans that we need to process grief, right? That is, we don't want to escape from it. We can't hide from it. We want to process it. And of course, my philosophy was, let me embrace it. And I literally went, I don't know how many weeks I went through where I would just get a bout of bawling tears, like loud. Like, I didn't care where I was. I could be in a diner, I could be in a store, wherever I was. And and then people around me got used to it, and they would go 5, 4, 3, because it took 5 seconds for me to go through that cycle.
Wow.
But I say this to say, when I came home, or when I left my house and came back, or even while I was sitting there, they were moving things for me. Things were moving, and it was so important. I had one friend show up one day a month for 4 months, literally went around the house and picked up my mail, because I wasn't opening it, and threw out all the garbage stuff, and then said, okay, we have to write it. Got my checkbook, wrote it, had me sign the check, to pay some bills. And this is super important. And even now, 7 years later, I'm now also rotating things that I did with Pietro in my house out, and bringing things in that Jeff and I are bringing in. Right now, we're getting a new barbecue. So the barbecue that was there for all this time was one that Pietro and I purchased, and now we've donated it. And another key factor, and you probably promote this, is releasing things after the loss of a loved one requires some thought.
Yes.
And
grace and patience.
And some stuff I could gift, right? I could gift to my late husband's children. That felt good. Move that out. And then I could maybe gift to some friends who knew my late husband, and I would give gifts away, his humidor, and then there were the things that I would donate, that because I couldn't throw it away. Then I had to donate it, And I'll never forget, a funny story is, and this is how I operate even today, really. I'm very tuned into how I'm feeling. And I tried to clear out his underwear drawer 3 times. So I'd pick up his underwear, and I'd start walking to the kitchen, and I'd start bawling, and I couldn't get past halfway through. I'd turn around and go put it back. So 3 times I attempted, and finally my solution was to put it in the rag drawer, put his underwear in the rag drawer, because they were 100% cotton. They were good. They were rubber. So I put them in the rag drawer. Because that's all I could do with them. And what was so funny is I ended up getting a roommate after he passed, and she wanted a rag, and I sent it to the rag drawer, and she came back with his underwear. But you know what? You got to do what feels right, and then you're laughing hysterical because the whole thing is ridiculous. Then I throw it out after we used it. It's like.
Yeah, but I love that your work too is so, like, caring about how you feel is really step one. That allows you to acknowledge the energy of things and of yourself, and connect with your intuition, and in all the different decision making, whether it's grief or your spaces or your relationships. And I think what you said earlier too was also in point with how we can do it all by ourselves, but we don't really want to. And it's not just the intimate relationship, but having that discernment in the people that you care about and that you have around you, that building that support on multiple levels.
I love what you do with your intuitive decluttering, because I recently, as we spoke, that I only found out this year that you don't have to be born a medium. And I'm learning about a lot of things. Now, I've always been, we didn't call it intuitive back in the day. What did they call that? Sensitive, or I don't know, but there was a word that we used to call it. And then when people started using the word intuitive or intuition, we didn't put much value to it. But now that I'm aware of more and I'm starting my pre-courses, I'm literally aware if I pick something up in a store, I love to do consignment shopping.
Yeah, treasure hunting. I call it treasure hunting. You
treasure hunting. I always thought it was my eyes telling me I like this or I don't like that. And now I'm more aware that if I pick something up and it feel like I picked something up and I went, oh my gosh, I love this. It was a clay thing, pottery. And I said, oh, I love this, but where am I going to put it? And what doesn't really go with my decor? So now my brain got involved, right? Mm-hmm. And I literally went back the next day because I began to realize that there must be love in that piece. As whoever made this clay piece, there's love in there. And I was sensing the love. So I went and brought it home. So, I'm starting to realize that when I'm attracted to something, it's not necessarily my eyes. It's the energetic connection I'm feeling. And now it's a game changer. So if I look at something now in my house, and it's easy to keep things sitting for 25 years, 40 years, right? You just keep it sitting. If I pick it up and I don't have an attachment to it for some reason, I donate it. I gift it out, give it to my kids, my stepkids, my bonus children. So it's super fun to be aware of that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, is there anything else you would like to add to our conversation?
I would love to just share that I do have a book called Dating It's Not Personal. And that when women say, what do I need to do? If they read that book and literally put into practice the things that I have done, and you can't make up the stories, by the way. The Dating It's Not Personal is all the stories of my dating shenanigans, because not like everything else, until you've perfected it, you're figuring it out, you're practicing. Their lives will change once they get a hold of, does it feel right or does it not? And this is where I begin the journey with them.
Beautiful. And that's available on Amazon, right?
It is. And DonnaMeador.com is my website. And there's a lot of little things there. I have a date readiness quiz for women who are looking for love in all the wrong places.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I very much appreciated this conversation.
Thank you, Kay Margaret. And thank you for what you do.
Thank you for joining me on Intuitive Wisdom. If this episode brought you clarity or inspiration, please take a moment to leave a 5-star review. It truly helps others find this space. And if someone you love, you could use a shift in energy, share this episode with them. You never know what might resonate. For more, explore my frequency reset service, tune into more episodes, or begin the journey through my book, all at deliciousease.com. That's DELICIOUSEASE.com. All right, until next time, trust your energy, honor your space, and keep coming home to yourself.